I'm Dan Galusha. Welcome to another edition of Shoot and Plink. We're back with some more knives, and these are some that everybody asks about. They're called kunais, and they're a little different. I really do not suggest these for the beginner necessarily. They're something that I think everybody probably wants in their collection, which is fine. And this particular sheath, this is the ones that probably you see the most. These are the ones put out by United Cutlery, and they're the 12-inch. They've got pretty good weight to them. They've got the sheath that has got 3 compartments, plus it also has a leg strap, so you can put it on there and be Mr. Hollywood with it if you want. Well, we're not going Hollywood here. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys the beginners, and you can see what's happened to it. Take a look at the paracord wrappings. Yep. Those have been slashed with these. That's how sharp they are. They're very, very sharp. So you don't want to mess with these. I have been stuck in the leg with them. They bounced, come back, and stuck me right in the leg. That can happen. That's why you have to be very, very careful with these. Especially you guys that have never thrown them before. Well, anybody, because they'll come back at anybody. I don't care who you are. Adam Saladin would have him coming back at him, and he's a world champion. Imagine even Gil Hibben would have him coming back. Well, these are already bent just slightly. You can probably see the curve to it. That's one of the problems right there. A lot of people said they've had breakage. Who knows? They may break on us today when we throw them. As far as throwing them, they work for no spin. They'll work for a spin, and I use this ring at 10 feet. We'll talk about that later. And they'll work for a spin at the other distances. As far as half spin goes, I don't really recommend it. Half spin, if I'm going to go with a half spin, it's going to be up close, where I'm able to get it right down here and throw it. And then I'm using both hands. I'm taking this hand, bringing it back, and then throwing it, because that point and those sharp edges can really do some damage to your hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to go throw these just like we always do, 7, 10, 13, and 16 feet, and we'll see what happens with them. We'll start out at 7 feet, and I'm going to try a no spin, and then try the half spin, and we'll see what happens there. Well, they're always just a little bit of an overspin on them, but they're in there, and that was a no spin. Now we're going to go with the half spin. They're all in there. Move on back to 10 feet and go with a full spin. Alright, that was full spin at 10 feet. Going back to 13 feet. Okay, that's 13 feet. A little bit past, about 13 and a half maybe. 14, in there somewhere. I'll tell you, those things, sometimes they stick real light, and other times real heavy. Now we're going to go back to 16 feet. And I'm not sure. I haven't thrown these for a while at a further distance, so we'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, 2 out of 3. Well, we threw them, didn't we? You can see, right off the bat, I do not recommend these for beginners. For your collection, yes. For having some fun, okay. They're not real sturdy, as I showed you. That one's bent just a little bit, and they can get bent more. I do not suggest them for half spin throwing where you're using the blades, because they are extremely sharp. You have to watch out for ricochets and bounce backs where they come at you. If you got somebody standing off to the side, make sure that they're somewhere well behind you, because these can come off and fly over and hit somebody. You want to be extremely careful with these, just like you would a firearm. these things can get dangerous. This is the official expendable, as they call them, expendable kunais, and they're put out by United Cutlery, and you can see what it does to the paracord wrappings. It splits them, and that gummy stuff you see, and it's not gummy now, I used Elmer's glue, not regular Elmer's glue, but the wood glue, and I poured it in there, and that's why they've held up as good as they have. The thing that I have noticed though on these, with these paracords, as they get down, it changes on each knife I'm throwing it. One reason is because you get used to where to hold it, and like this one, if I get it up above here, the next time I don't have that with this, I'm down here, so actually I'm not in the same spot for holding them. Now we're going to talk a little bit about how I held them. On the, I'll lay this down, I don't need all three of them in my hand for this. On the no spin, the one no spin that I did up close, I held it down here, and when I threw it, I put my other hand here, and I brought it up, and then I threw it. A lot of times if you're gripping it with just one hand, that's when this will come forward. That's how I got that slash right here. You probably can't see it. It wasn't this time, it was another time. And so you want to be real careful with that. Your no spin throwing, that's safer of course, right back here. Just stick your finger right into there. Is it good for no spin close distance throwing like I was doing at 7 feet? 7 feet, boy, I mean, you can get right on with that thing pretty doggone good. Then you go to 13 feet or 10 feet. In 10 feet I use this ring, and I hold it right there in that ring, and that's what I throw it with. And and it spins, and you've seen that, what it did. Did pretty doggone good at 10 feet. 13 feet's a little bit different. This is where my paracord wraps come in handy. I got to think about where I'm putting it, and I'm normally holding it right in here, so that this ring right here is in more of the, not right in the palm of my hand, although sometimes that works. It depends on the person. Sometimes you can put it right in the palm of your hand and throw it. Other times you have to have it down by the heel of your hand and throw it with your thumb right into the same area that you would do the no spin, just like that. At 16 feet, of course I only got a couple of them stuck there, and that was a little disappointing because I've thrown them at 19 feet and had them all stick, but I didn't want to spend a lot of time with it because and that's another thing, the weight is critical, and when you have the paracords off like that, sometimes it's just best just taking them off and being done with it and throwing them without the paracord. But the paracord makes a nice grip, and it also deadens the tanging a lot. But anyway, how did I throw it at 16 feet? I kind of varied that, and I threw that, I think, at about 17 feet when it came right down to it. I held it like this, not like this, but like this. I gripped it up so that this was completely down below my hand, and I had it up here throwing it. And when I threw it, I went with a complete follow through like this, rather than just a whip, you know, and that don't always work anyway. You usually always want to follow through with it, and that's what I did in order to get them stuck, the two that did stick. But 2 out of 3, like I said, I'm not that happy with that. I like to have them all, but at least you got to see what happens. So again, these are the kunais, the official expendable kunais, put out by United Cutlery, and for your collection, for some fun, just throwing. Careful, again, be careful, safe fun of throwing. Then I'd say, yeah, you can get some, you get a good sale on them, and that you might want to pick up a set. But if you're going to be learning, if you have not thrown knives before, no, absolutely not. This is not what to start with. Again, I say start with the cold steel, and no, Cold Steel don't sponsor me. In fact, I can't even get them to reply to me when I ask them about something on it. But I just have used them, and what I'm trying to do is just like with my Dan's fishing tails and shooting Plink with the guns, the air guns, the firearms, everything. I try to give my viewers, my readers, information that helps them. And if I have to buy something, like I bought all of mine, I'll do it. Because you, the viewers, and the readers of my column, and the listeners of my old radio show, you're the important end of things. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.